there's a lot of things that are going on right now in my life and a lot of changes and a lot of things that I have been working on for years. And I would associate it with manifestation. And it's something that I haven't practiced every day, but I have focused on at least a couple of times a week. And I do this exercise, which I've shared several times, and I believe it's on my link tree as well as a quick, easy access that you can get access to and participate yourself. And it's the Tony Robbins video, and he's at one of his big conferences, Unleashed or something like that. He goes through this exercise with the entire crowd, and it is so powerful. Every single time, it is very powerful for me. And I have focused on manifesting 3 key things in my life. And it's been 2.5 years that I've started this process and that I started this change through pain. And one of the number one thing was my coaching business, which is this change through pain, which I didn't know it was going to be a coaching business, but it just became that, and it became my passion and my desire to help others, to help anyone, but really focus on helping men and seeing my own journey through this healing process and how tough it's been and how little support has been available for me as a man. Now, is it because I'm less willing to reach out to others for help? Possibly. As a man, we're conditioned to not do that, to just be stoic, be tough, get over it. And that's not okay. And we need to change that. And so there's some big things that are happening behind the scenes, and I'm planning on becoming part of a big project. And once all that kind of gets moving forward, and I'll share more about that, but in general, it aligns with exactly what this project is about. It's about facing your stuff and healing and speaking your truth and forgiving yourself, forgiving others, releasing, letting go, replacing, creating new. I mean, what else is there, right? So there's a couple things that I want to touch upon today. So there's a couple things that I posted on Instagram recently, and I'm going to share those here and give a little bit of perspective here. Here we go. So love, right? Love is a choice. Love can be beautiful. Love should be beautiful. Love should be unconditional. And there's a lot of debate online and in the self-help world on social media, IG, Facebook, etc., right? And can you enter into a relationship with another person, right? A romantic relationship, if you are still healing? And I don't know, it kind of depends on where you're at. And it's a personal choice. I believe that you know when you're ready. And if you're on your healing journey, you know when you're ready. However, you can get stuck in that lifestyle of I've got to do these things and fix these things and be perfect, quote unquote, right? For whatever that perfection is for you, or you believe that others believe perfection is, and you can't get caught up in that. And the thing that comes to mind is this post that I saw on the Angry Therapist. And I do follow the Angry Therapist. I do like a lot of his content. He has a podcast as well. And this is what it is. And so it says 2 types of love. And I'm going to read it. And it says, Unhealthy love is being powerless, selfish, and enabling. It has no boundaries. Unhealthy love is unconditional and yet contingent. It is immature, irresponsible, and dependent. Unhealthy love is urgent. There is a desperation behind it, which produces manipulation and compromise of self. Unhealthy love is a pissing contest, a tug of war, a mute silence, and a kickstand. It is obvious. Unhealthy love promotes the false self and stunts growth. It is a drug. And then he goes on to say, healthy love is a choice. It is something you decide to give as a gift. It has conditions that shape the self and strengthen the other. Healthy love is feeling powerful and independent. It is grilled cheese and vegetable soup on a rainy day, but not every day. That just hits the spot for me, honestly. Healthy love is patient, kind, and accepting. Healthy love requires a tremendous amount of responsibility, which involves communication on all levels and constant reflection. It is building trust, having faith, and holding a commitment. Healthy love promotes growth, and two strong containers. Healthy love is rare. And if you look at the statistics of marriages and the failure of marriages for many different reasons, I have a failed marriage. Pretty much everybody that I know has a failed marriage. My parents are still married. They're from a different generation that stuck it out, so to speak. They may not have been happy all the time, but they committed to each other for the rest of their lives. And that's kind of a scary concept for my generation and younger, to be honest, to commit yourself to one person. But I believe that it is possible. And I believe that if each of the parties involved understand the principles and the core values of what love is and what it isn't, and they're willing to look within and admit their faults and correct the things and fix the things and improve upon the things that are going to help themselves grow with the other person, I think it can work. And if the other person isn't willing to do that and you are, you might just need to end that relationship. And I understand that, and that's okay. This made me reflect quite a bit, and on my marriage, on my most recent romantic engagement that ended. So here's another post. I don't want to look back in 5 years' time and think we could have been magnificent, but I was afraid. In 5 years, I want to tell of how fear tried to cheat me out of the best thing in life, and I didn't let it. Unknown. If we reflect on this and we kind of put this in perspective, you want to take chances, you want to take risks with your life, because as far as we all know, we have one opportunity, at least in this body, inhabiting this body, as this soul inhabiting this body, right? And we're all energy, and it leaves your body once you leave this earth and you pass on, and the energy flows through, and some believe that the energy comes back in reincarnation into another person until you fulfill all the things that you need to do as this energy, as this spirit. So take that for whatever you want and whatever you believe in. It's not really the point here. If you have goals and you have dreams and you are too afraid to pursue them because you're caught up in what others think, say, do, might think, might say, might do, you're not going to live your life. And if you get caught up in a place to where you are hurt and you act as a victim, your daily habits, you don't do things, you don't go places because you have decided that you're a victim. And I came to this realization just recently, and it's through a lot of different avenues. I read books constantly. I listen to audiobooks. I listen to podcasts. I watch videos on YouTube, inspirational. I talk to people. I meditate. I reflect, and this came to me through this process, this journey, and I wrote about it today, and I just posted it, and I want to share that. So there's a quote by Neil Strauss. Honestly, I don't know who Neil Strauss is, but it's a quote from Neil. Perhaps the biggest mistake I've made in the past was that I believed love was about finding the right person. In reality, love is about becoming the right person. Don't look for the person you want to spend your life with. Become the person you want to spend your life with. Whoa. Wow. That's just hits you deep if you've been on the spiritual awakening healing journey that I have. And I know many that follow this account and create the love in others have been on that journey, or they're just entering that journey, or they're at the tail end of the journey and they're living their life as a better version of themselves because of the journey. But I had to accept that what happened for me, which you could say it happened to me, but it happened for me. It happened for the betterment of me, to show me what I needed to heal, the things that I needed to improve upon, the things that I needed to do better as a human for myself, for my sons, for my family, for my friends, for strangers that I meet. There's a lot of things that I needed to recognize that I was running from and hiding from for different reasons my entire life. And alcohol was one of the things that I used to mask and run and be someone that was easier to be. And really, I was just releasing the real me, right? I had a lot of fun. I was easygoing, the life of the party, laughing, joking, being the clown of the event and whatnot. And that's the real me. But I didn't feel like I could be the real me sober. I was too afraid, too insecure. For a lot of things that happened to me growing up, I didn't have that solid, safe foundation to be me, to understand why I felt the way that I felt, and to receive love. I didn't receive love in a healthy way. Physically, my parents were there. That's about it, honestly. And I don't know how else to say it, but that's just the reality. And I accept that, and I'm okay. And I'm learning to accept that, and I've let that go and understand that they did the best that they knew how to do up to that point. And I committed myself to do better as a father. And so I've done that, and finally learning to accept that I chose to react or respond verbally or physically, meaning the things that I said in response, how I acted, behaved, the things that I did or said, right? In response to things that happened. And I neglected to see certain things like red flags in a relationship early on. And I accepted those things. And due to my insecurities, I wanted to fill the void, and there was these great things happening. And I was willing to overlook these significant red flags that ultimately showed me and brought out the things that I needed to improve, fix, and learn. And it was a painful experience. It's still painful from time to time as I continue through the healing journey, but that's just life. And I've learned so much. And I don't know exactly how the quote goes, or the phrase or the saying goes about the three people that you meet in your life, the three significant people in basically a romantic setting. Is you meet somebody early on in your life and you get together, and you're young, you're not mature enough, and you haven't lived enough to understand who you really are and all those things. And you grow apart and you move on. And that was my first marriage, and we're still friends, and we get along well and co-parent well and all that, so that's great. And then at some point you meet the second person who is going to disrupt your life and show you, force you to face these things that you need to heal and fix, and show you that you need to put yourself first, and you need to learn to love yourself. You can still love another, right? But if you start to let all the stuff out, and you start to question them, and you start to not be as sweet and kind and nice, and you start nitpicking and all the things that happen in relationships, and you're not as open-minded, and you start to get resentful, and you don't communicate properly, and the triggers happen, and then neither one of you are communicating properly with each other, or one's trying, the other's not, and one shuts down, and all the things that happen in these relationships. If the foundation was built on sand, and the tide continues to roll in every single day and eats away and erodes that foundation, what's going to happen long term? Whatever's on top of that foundation that you tried to build upon, build this life with this other person, is going to crumble, is going to collapse, is going to probably get pulled into the waves and ultimately into the ocean and disappear. And so once you realize and accept these things that you need to fix, you've by default created a new foundation to build upon, a stronger foundation, a wiser foundation. And you learn to love yourself, put yourself first, set loving boundaries, speak your truth with love, and then be open-minded to the other person's viewpoint, and listen with intention, and hold space, and be a safe place, and be trustworthy, and be a role model, and all those things that we as men need to be as the masculine leader in most cases, in most relationships. And I'm speaking about men and women dating. And learning about the leadership role as a man, and using my masculine traits, my dominant masculine traits, in a healthy way to lead a relationship, in every relationship. Lead, be a leader by example, that safe place, that safe space, speaking with love, speaking my truth with love, listening with intention, being trustworthy. That's all you can do, and you're going to attract someone that is naturally going to provide some of those things. Maybe not all those things, but there's some give and take. But when you will only accept the things that are good for you, you won't spend a whole lot of time with someone who mistreats you. And that's a loving boundary. And you will respect yourself enough to walk away. And so here's what I wrote on the Neil Strauss quote. And this kind of sums it up. The day I made the tough decision to face this truth and begin my healing journey. To shed the many layers of hurt, shame, and doubt was the day my life changed forever. Learning to release the hurts, insecurities, doubts, fears, sadness, anger, frustration, and resentment has been a tough and long journey. Creating new habits and a new mindset in an effort to reprogram your brain and subconscious takes daily discipline and commitment. Once you reach your breakthrough point, a noticeable yet subtle shift occurs, and you might not notice unless you have committed to sitting quietly in daily meditation. You realize we are all energy and are all connected to all living creatures and are in control of our own unique experience by the choices we make in response to what happens. This is when it gets good, and you decide to choose compassion, empathy, and love, not only for yourself, but for those in your life and those you encounter in your journey. You truly are the author of the book of your life, and the choice is yours in each moment that will dictate your experience. Love is a choice, including choosing to love yourself enough to accept, forgive, and release in order to allow the energy of the universe to continually flow through you without force or resistance. You will begin to attract exactly what you need to assist you in your journey of growth, healing, and discovery at a place of peace in each present moment, and realize life is a gift. That's my message for today. I appreciate you for watching and or listening. I love every single person who watches, listens, comments. This content, this project, it's so meaningful to me. And this is about me healing and becoming the best version of myself and showing others that it is possible. And as a man, that it is possible to become a brand new person, a better person, a person that loves yourself, that loves others, your family, your friends, a romantic partner, your community, and giving back. Give selflessly with no expectation, and you will receive an abundance of love in every way. And it'll fill you up, fill your heart up, and each day, each moment will be just the best that it can possibly be. So that's my message for today. I appreciate you. You have a blessed day, and I hope you have happy holidays and a safe and happy New Year. Till next time, take care.